function in the turning point form. Okay? And then what we're supposed to do here is to calculate the coordinates of the turning point. And then we are supposed to calculate the x-intercept. And then after that, we're supposed to draw the graph showing clearly the x-intercept, the intercept with the axis. We also want to show also the turning point. So I'm going to do number A, and then now you come and do number B up until F. Now, what is the first thing that I have to do with number A? So on number A here, they say which the first thing that I need to give them is the coordinates of the turning point. Now, how do we get the turning point? We said the one which is inside the squared, because this one is inside the squared, this is how we're going to solve it. We're going to say which x plus 1 should be equal to 0. And then we say which x is going to be equal to minus 1. So this becomes, it becomes the equation of the axis of symmetry, and it also becomes the x coordinate of the turning point. So on my turning point here, I will say TP. And then it's not TP is equal to its turning point. Turning point is a coordinate. So its turning point here, I'm going to have minus 1. And then minus 1 is going to go with my Q value. What is our Q value here? So this is going to be minus 1 is to what? Is to minus 4. So I will probably get 2 marks for doing something like this. Then the next question says I need to determine the x-intercept. Now, on number 2, how would you determine the x-intercept? You need to make y to be 0 again. So we're going to say which 0 is going to be equal to x. It's open bracket plus 1 all squared minus 4 again. Now you take this 4 to this other side, it says which 4 is going to be equal to x plus 1 all squared. You want to get x again. Now you are going to root both sides. You put a square root, you put a square root. A square root has a plus and a minus. This says which are going to have plus and a minus 2, which is going to be x plus 1. Then from here onwards, you are going to say, okay, let's start with the positive one. Then you will have 2, which is going to be equal to x plus 1. And then you're going to have minus 2, which is going to be x plus 1. After that, it's a matter of transposing. So if we take this one here, it's positive, okay? If it goes this side, it's going to become what? Then it says which you are going to have 2 minus 1, which is going to be x, okay? And then here you are going to have minus 2 minus 1, which is going to be x. And then it says here you're going to have 1, which is going to be x. And then here it says minus 3 is going to be equal to what? To x. Now, since they said calculate the x-intercepts, we need to put them in a coordinate form. In a coordinate form, we're going to have 1 is to 0. X is 1. What is your y? Your y is 0 again. And then here in a coordinate form, you have minus 3 is to what? Is to 0. Now, the next part they say which we need to draw this thing. We are going to draw our graph. So how do we draw our graph? We need to have a Cartesian plane where we are going to draw our graph. Now, first we're going to start by representing the x-intercept, the y-intercept. Now, the y-intercept, they didn't say what I should calculate it, but before I can draw, I'm going to start by looking for it. So how do I get the y-intercept? The y-intercept, I'm going to say which y is going to be equal to 0. It's plus 1 all squared minus 4. And then if I type this in my calculator, it gives me what? Minus 3. Then the y-intercept says which I have 0. My x is 0. My y is going to be equal to what? That's 3. Now we're going to take this information and then put it here. All this information that we got here, we're going to take it and put it here. We're going to start with the intercept. They intersect with the axis. So they can intersect with the y-axis or they can intersect with the x-axis. So let's start with the one that intersect with the y-axis. So y-axis, x is 0 here. So here, because x is 0, we're going to look for our y. Our y is what? So I'm going to come and shade with a different color here. So I shade this one here. I will still go there again. Now, what else do we have? We have the one that intersects with the axis. So the one that intersects with the axis, I have 1 and 0 again. I have minus 3 and 0. So 1 and 0, it's here. So this is going to be our 1 and 0. And then I have minus 3 and 1 and 0. So I'm done with that one again. What else do I have? I have the turning point. That's the first thing that they asked me to get. What was the turning point? The turning point is minus 1 is to minus 4 again. So x is minus 1. You come into minus 1 and then you do a dotted line. On minus 1, you do a dotted line. And then on -4, you also do a dotted line. Where these two things meet, that is where your turning point is going to be. We're still together, Megan. Now, the next thing that we're going to do now is to put this thing in our table. Why do we want to put it in our table? So that it gives us the shape. So now we want to get the shape of the graph. So how are we going to get it on our table? We go to our calculator. And then when we go to our calculator, you're going to go to your calculator now. Go to your calculator. You go to mode. And then on mode, you're going to look for the option of table. According to mine, it says, but the option is 7 again. And then I'm going to press 7. If I say 7, it gives me f of x again. Now on f of x, I'm going to type the equation exactly the way it is. Let's check what does the equation says. So we're going to type the equation exactly the way it is again. Now what does the equation say? It says which you have open bracket again. You have alpha, and then you press x. And then it says plus 1, close bracket, all squared, minus 4, equals to, again. It says g of x. You don't write anything on g of x. And then after that, it asks you where do you want to start? Where do we want to start? Now, I am going to start based on my graph here. I'm going to go to my graph. I've already highlighted the x-intercept and the y-intercept. I want to include all these points here. I just want to make sure that all these points are included. So I'm going to start on -4. Because I want to make sure that everything is covered. So I'm going to start on my -4. So if they say, where do I want to start? I will say -4. And then where do I want to end? Where does it end, this thing? I want to include 1 again. So I'm just going to end just after 1. So after 1, I'm going to end where? On 2. And then equals 2. And then the step, we're going to leave it as what? As 1. And then after that, I say equals 2. It says which when x is -4, what is my y? My y is 5. Okay? Yeah, I'm going to plot this then now. So here you have your 5. So you have -4. Okay? -4, it goes with what? With 5. So you come and shade which here you have -4 and 5. Okay, what is the next point then? The next point that you have is -3 to 0. Yeah, here is -3 to 0. So you can see I'm putting a black now. I also have a red again. I have a black and a red. The black one, I'm going to connect my dots as they follow each other. So I'm going to start with this one. So the first dot is this one. I go to the second one. You see that again? What is the next point? -2 goes with what? -3. So I'm going to go with this one and say, okay, where these two meets. So this is the third one. And then the next one, it says -1 -4. Okay, I'm putting blank again. We still fine again. The next one, what do I have?
0 and -9.
It's 0 and -3. Okay, here is 0 and -3. What else do I have?
1 and
1 is to 0. Okay, I'm going to the next dot now. And then the last one is 2 is to 5. Now, this is how my graph is going to look like. Now, check here, guys. I needed to include everything. I included the red. I've also included the green. Can you see that again? Yeah, and then we are done with that one. Then you can come and do the following with that one. Let's do number B now as the classwork, and then number C, number D, number E, they are going to be your homework.